everyone, and welcome to the 18th episode of Slime Time, the official Dragon Quest Dragon's Den podcast. This is one of your hosts, Plattym3.
And this is Liamland. So we'd like to welcome you to listen to a podcast about a ballet hosted by three guys who've never been or seen a ballet before.
Yeah, thanks for that. I'm glad I wasted 40 minutes of my life on the ballet just to record this episode.
Yeah, so Dwaine and I actually didn't watch it. We were just this whole thing was an experiment to see if we could get you to watch it.
Oh, social experiments fun.
All good though because it's Dragon Quest, right?
Dragon Quest Light.
Right. Like correct. Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, we actually did watch this ballet that was posted, and we'll get to that. But I feel like every franchise needs to be able to have a Star Wars holiday special, and that for Dragon Quest, this is kind of it.
That is, if you haven't watched the 12-part ballet that's been up for the past 10 years on YouTube.
I have not.
Idea.
I have not. Maybe someday. Returning to the Slime Time podcast once again is the graphic artist behind our Slime Time logo, our good friend Mr. Dwaine Bullock.
What is up, party people in the house?
Yeah, welcome back to the podcast. What's this, like your third or fourth revisit with us?
Third time. Thank you very much for having me, too.
Yeah, of course.
So tonight we're going to be talking about Dragon Quest Ballet.
Oh, I thought we were going to be talking about the leaks for Last of Us Part 2.
Oh, that might be a better topic of conversation. You know,
that's actually how we just got you to sign on to actually do the podcast.
Oh, well. I mean,
you're here, you know,
I would like to be DMCA'd by Sony and Naughty Dog. I'm like, come on, fight me.
Yeah, you already got Toei, right?
Yeah, yep, Toei. It's like they DMCA'd themselves, so yeah. Them Toei DMCA'ing themselves. It was like that one YouTube video about the cop that was doing the lesson on gun safety, and he shoots himself in the foot.
Oh,
is that on YouTube?
Yes, they started that entire channel, and they DMCA'd themselves and took down their own channel. Beautiful. It's art.
Oh boy. Well, talking about art, you know, and I'm going to put quotation marks there. Various opinions. You hold your opinion, I'll hold mine. But last week, Yuji Horii himself tweeted out a link to this live taping. Well, it's not live. A taping of Dragon Quest Ballet from Japan Expo. It took place, I think, 2019 in Paris, France.
Yeah, we'll post the YouTube link in the show notes, and I'm sure if you're watching the YouTube version of this podcast, we'll probably have some footage of footage of the ballet as well. Apologies
in advance.
This whole episode should just be called "Apologies in Advance."
Oh, we invited Dwaine to apologize to the fandom for putting you through this.
I'm so sorry. But I actually didn't hate it, so I may be in the minority here.
Well, I will say I enjoyed writing 2 pages full of notes about this. So I'll be our MC here, and you guys feel free to break in at any point. And we can talk about anything that happens, because I've got a 2-page summary of everything that happened, every minute detail that happened that I was conscious for in the 40-minute episode.
How much were you unconscious for?
I didn't time that. It's kind of hard to time when you're not there. Sadly, I think 0%. But all right, so the thing opens with some ladies dancing in white. Looks like they might be having some ice hats on. And something I realized about this at the end, it tells you they didn't really have any stage props, or not many stage props in this, because this was a traveling kind of appetizer. At the end, they even say, hey, come to Tokyo, see the whole show. We've got a great big stage with all this cool stuff. And if you search, you can kind of see little snippets of it. So this is kind of a bare bones version, but opens with ladies dancing in white. Queen comes out all dressed in white, and she's holding these twin dolls, purchased from Walmart, especially probably. Buy one, get one free. I don't know.
Very, very obviously dolls. And
Oh, they are. Yeah.
Hey, do they have Walmart in France?
That's true. These might be like porcelain dolls, although, you might not want to go dancing around the stage with some porcelain dolls. Doing that live might create some issues. But while she's dancing around with these dolls, or more like just standing there, some big black dragon shogun dude appears. And he's bad because he's wearing black. I mean, obviously. And then, obviously, the dude in white comes to protect the queen, but he's kind of a loser because the big bad black guy dressed up shogun gets one of the dolls, dances his little fancy feet off, and suddenly the DQ fanfare plays. And then up on the screen, we get introduced to the cast. And what's great is the cast is introduced, and it's up there in English. Not in French, not in Japanese. It's up there in English. And, there's the White Hero. That's his name, White Hero. There's Princess. There's Legendary Hero, who to me didn't seem quite legendary. He's the guy who lost that first doll in the first place. There's Sauron.
He's legendary because he lost the kids. Because really, who screws that up?
I mean, yeah, it's a doll. Don't let the guy take the doll. Come on. Then there's Sauron, or somebody who looks like him. He's called, quote, Wise Man. You'll find out basically he's Bill Gates, Moneybags dude later. And then there's
is it the old guy or?
Yeah, the old guy.
Okay. Do you mean Saruman or Sauron?
Oh yeah, Saruman. Sorry.
All right.
I'm getting my syllables and lore mixed up here.
Just in case we get scathing comments.
Yes. All the comments we get from our stuff.
Right.
We get a guy that is totally Torneko Taloon, but not, because he is called Weapons Dealer. That is his. That is his name. You see him up there, big fat dude in his striped outfit, and it just says Weapons Dealer.
Yeah.
And then there's Fighter.
Fighter's essentially the Dragon Quest female fighter from DQ3.
Yeah. There's Dream Mother, I think, was the next one. I have that written down, but I don't really remember that too much. And then I do believe it was kind of hard to read because it was more like black on a different colored background, and you're seeing this being taped from about 50 yards away, something projected on the back wall. Pretty sure it says Black Hero.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did, which is hilarious because it's like you figure they call one guy White Hero, the other guy's the villain, but they're not gonna to call him Black Villain would sound, I don't know, borderline racist.
A little bit.
So, but I don't know if they would care or if that if they would even see it like that. So just it was just kind of interesting because they were probably both originally supposed to be heroes. So since one was raised by this dark being, then he's Black Hero,
which is part of the emblem of Roto's story, where they had the two brothers. One was raised in it's not Eliahan, but it was a kingdom that they made specifically for that manga. Mm-hmm. He was raised on the good side, and then they have his brother that was the bad seed, but in true shonen fashion, he's not that bad, and teams up with them in the end. And same manga we read over and over and over for years. But it's good though.
Yeah,
cool.
Now, if I remember reading the because there was just a few parts where I guess there was stuff spoken, and YouTube does have English subtitles at the bottom. Honestly, I want to say it was 5 lines the entire thing, but something appears on screen, and it's basically 10 years later. At least I think it was 10 years later, because I wrote a joke in here. I'm like, man, those kids grow up fast. From baby doll to, White Hero walks out, and he's a full-grown 10-year-old man, of course.
Oh man.
Back in the medieval times, 10 years old, that's middle age when it comes to life expectancy back then. So
true. I mean, man, he'd been squire for a couple of years by then.
Yeah,
back out on his own.
Yeah, back in Romeo and Juliet, they were supposed to be 13, and of course they acted like a they acted like 13-year-olds that are dating, went way overly dramatic and killed themselves.
As 13-year-olds act dramatically today.
Oh, I'm sorry. Spoilers for like centuries old play.
Oh yeah. Sorry if we ruined Romeo and Juliet for you. Apologies there. Now, it was at this point that I realized they were using some cool sound effects. Like when the words came up on the screen, it sounded like the old Dragon Quest games, the sound that the text makes as it goes across the screen. That was pretty cool. And I thought they had a couple other sound effects in there throughout that weren't just the DQ fanfare. The music was from all over different games. You had the overworld themes and whatever. You guys would know that better than me, though.
Which I thought those fit very well for a ballet.
They did.
Especially the opening number, I thought.
Mm-hmm. And we'll see how well they transition to ballet later too. Liam's got a little story about that.
One thing the projection did have though, and as a graphic designer, this is one of the things that's just like gets to me. The transitions from scene to scene. From time to time, you would see the Windows Media Player controls, and that just drives me nuts because a year ago I was at a college graduation ceremony, and like all the cards that they had were so badly formatted, and myself and another friend of mine that's also a graphic designer were losing our minds at how badly this looks. And they're like, "No, this is supposed to be college. It's college." And just like our friend beside us, she's like, "Oh my God, would you two just shut up?" But just like, no, this is our job. We get in trouble if we don't do our job.
So at this point, the legendary hero, he's not there. You've got the little kid who grew up in a white hero. The doll, the black dude grew into a black hero. There's some dancing white hero, and some chicks come out and they dance. It's probably the princess that was shown earlier.
Did you get like are they supposed to be Zenithian, or are they some to like Celestrian or something? They look like these angelic beings, like they're dressed all in white. They have these kind of like angelic crowns.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I didn't pick up on that. I was focused very much on the white is good, black is bad. That really, the imagery there was just very.
That whole thing.
I'm not sure if it's this specific show, but I want to say the Dragon Quest Ballet has been around for quite some time.
Oh, there's multiple ones. Like I said, there's a 12-part YouTube series that's each between like 8 and 20 minutes. So there's like a couple hours that go back. I don't know if it's this exact story. I thought it looked different, but then again, we don't get the whole story with this one. This is just a snippet anyway. So that'd be interesting. If you want to search up Dragon Quest Ballet, there's at least 14 or 15 videos out there. Not just
there's some pretty interesting ones too that we'll talk about later.
I was talking about YouTube, but we'll get back. So the white hero's out here with some chick, probably the princess. The big bad black dude comes out with his little protege, Black Hero, and Kylo Ren boy beats up the white hero, gets knocked down because he's not been out power leveling, and
the fighting is pretty dramatically like staged. In this, like the guy swings the sword, it comes nowhere near the guy, and the guy just like overreacts and like flies back.
Hey, it's a way better fight scene than West Side Story.
Less snapping.
But I guess the main point here, and I wrote this down, and it's funny that it came back later as like a huge plot point. I wrote down like White Hero's a wimp, and maybe he shouldn't use a dagger. This little like 12-inch dagger. Maybe he should actually get himself a sword.
That's right. It's like a tiny sword.
Yeah, he's just he pulls it out. I've got butcher knives bigger than that thing. It's like
the Thundercat sword before he like enhances the power.
So because he's a wimp,
back when that show was, it was still cringy, but not quite as cringy as it is now.
All right, are we talking Thundercats?
Yes.
Because Yeah, I know you had to ask Liam because this is getting pretty cringy here too. Because the
no,
monsters are about to come out here.
Okay.
So yeah, after the hero gets knocked down, bad dude takes princess, runs away, and suddenly monsters come out. They are definitely not. I wrote down they look like Jim Henson's nightmares come to life. I mean, there's one with an eyeball that maybe was going for a DQ look, but
I don't think any of these went for a DQ look.
I mean, I was using my imagination with that one.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I thought when I saw this was like, oh man, every DQ fan watching this is going to be like, oh, this is definitely not Akira Toriyama's design.
Yes, like, no.
It was all very un-DQ like to see these goofy looking alien costumes that they were trying to pass off as DQ monsters.
So on the last podcast, I think I mentioned I had 2 Dragon Quest art books coming in the mail. One of them was the art of Dragon Quest 11, and the other was the Dragon Quest 10 art book. And the Dragon Quest 10 art book is fantastic, but it is definitely the let's not pay Akira Toriyama book, because the original designs are not in there at all. But practically every single piece of artwork that they did for the game is in there. So if you are a Dragon Quest X fan, I highly recommend picking it up. But it definitely just so. One of the things that I noticed about this, it's Dragon Quest, but the look is very much an Amano design Final Fantasy, and the monsters kind of reminded me of more Final Fantasy monsters.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, how hard would it have been to put a hula hoop around people's feet and a blue towel over them and call them a slime?
I do like the not slime's lips and eyes on their butt. And the pink monster, really, with like 3 people in a costume, you got 2 people as the eyes and one the rest. Like that was a neat design. I mean, it's not Dragon Quest at all, but I still was like, that's different.
Oh, so
like,
yeah,
it's not Dragon Quest at all, but I appreciate the effort.
Yeah, I mean, I did see that Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark on Broadway, and
oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry for having seen it too, but I did get that kind of same vibe off of the costumes in that show, which is basically like, oh, this is very not Spider-Man. Like this is very like it's somebody really took the liberties on the design here, so that's kind of the same vibe I got out of watching this.
So if you think you take the title off of this and take out the Torneko and the music, do you recognize it as Dragon Quest?
Absolutely not.
No, not at all.
All right.
I mean, it has little bits. It's kind of like a knockoff Dragon Quest, kind of, because it has all these little bits from different games, which normally would be fine. But it seems very much just like we could only pay one creator, and we're paying Sugiyama.
Oh, you mean Yuji Horii didn't write the story?
I mean, he could have. I don't know.
He's the one who tweeted it out.
2 out of 3 ain't bad, man.
He's just like, you know what? This could be a multiple revenue stream for me. Sure, I'll sign off on that. It's how Dragon Ball Evolution happened.
But I mean, even George Lucas was like, when he saw the Star Wars Holiday Special, he was like, oh, okay, this was a mistake, and he tried to destroy like all the original copies of it, or rumors have it anyway.
Yeah, I wish he'd do that to the sequel trilogy. It'd be nice. We're sorry, George. Come back.
I don't know. I'm not that sorry.
Just last week we finished that up. I hadn't seen episode 9 until last week, so
I still haven't seen it yet.
It's one of those movies where like when you watch it, it's like okay, but then because I thought there were parts in that movie that I thought were fun, but then the more you think about it, and the more angry you get. I got a random text from one of my friends one night, and to not spoil it for Liam, but she just texted me just like, he laid pipe, like he did that.
Oh man.
I'm just going to assume you're talking about building a Death Star.
Yes.
There's a lot of pipes that go into something the size of a moon.
All right.
Well,
okay.
Although, watch the latest Clone Wars episodes because those are great.
I do need to catch up on that series.
Yeah, I
see
do
that
too.
It's ending.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed
3
that.
have been wonderful.
You know what I was thinking today? This has nothing to do with DQ Ballet, but just an aside. Why do they still use the droids if they're so like Three Stooges incompetent?
They're cheap.
Yeah,
They're cheap.
right.
It's-
But they
it's one
never
of those
get anything done.
It's like
just a complete waste of money.
it's like you send like wave after wave of killbots.
Oh
It's-
Zach Brannigan.
Yeah, it's like that.
Okay. Sent wave after wave of my own men.
Pew, pew, pew.
That's still my all-time favorite episode of a I can't
Futurama.
Yes, thank you. I couldn't say it. All of a sudden.
Was that the first Zap Brannigan episode?
Very first
Yeah.
one. It's still my favorite episode. Just like Kif.
I've made it with a woman, informed the men.
Yes. Just like I have some musing to do. Ugh.
And that sets the tone for like the relationship the entire series.
It's pretty much a perfect episode. I love it.
All right.
As you can hear, we are so excited to talk about the
Oh yeah,
Dragon Quest
back on
Ballet.
topic.
We
Well, I
are so
will say
excited to just stay on topic with this.
I will say that watching this, I know it was only 40 minutes long. It didn't make me angry the way that like watching like a new Star Wars movie would. Like that.
True.
You know, just because
I'll give you that. Yep.
maybe it's because it was so short. Maybe because it didn't feel like canon.
Oh
Yeah.
God, no.
You know, maybe that was it didn't feel like it was going to lessen my appreciation for the originals.
No,
And-
this is definitely a fan novel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like fan fiction.
Let's throw Torneko in there. Come on.
Yeah,
I like
And-
him.
but we'll change
And,
his
like, really,
name
that
so that
was-
we don't get sued.
Yeah. Like that was really the most Dragon Quest thing about it, I thought, because like that was the one, like he seemed like the most in character.
Yeah.
Mhm. So back to where we were. The monsters came out and the hero dances around with them, but can't really do anything to him because he's a frickin' wimp and underleveled. But you know what he's got? He's got a flute. And, you know, just like in every Dragon Quest game, when you're underleveled, you just pull out a flute. And some old wise man will come out, shine a light, and scare away all the monsters. I mean, that's what happened in the ballet. I mean, I'd assume that's what happens in all the games too.
Yeah, and this is one of those things I'm not sure if it was how the performance was shot, because they were filming the two dancers at the beginning, but I think there may have been something on screen that explained what the flute does. We just didn't see it.
Very likely, yeah. So at this point, the white hero, he's kind of over this shit, and he decides he needs to hit the bar. And about that time, I decided I needed to hit the bar too, watching this. And suddenly, bar scene, tavern scene is there, and it looks kind of like a magic show or a burlesque thing.
No, was that the casino theme they were playing at this point? Because I thought they were in a casino because there were that type of style. Like I don't remember if it was Bunny Girls or if it was like.
Oh, they had a dude dressed in a very fancy, shiny outfit, and I don't know. He looked like he was going to serve you popcorn in the 1950s at a movie theater, or be the guy in the middle of a three-ring circus, or
I think it was very much meant to be tavern / casino.
Yeah,
because
no,
because like it had like the tavern type of dancers and stuff. So
yeah, and it was. The chicks are in garters dancing around there, and from what I understood, he's there to recruit a party. He's there.
Okay, so it's like Loita's bar.
Correct. So I don't know what gave me that idea. He's dancing around. The white hero's face is like, whoa, what the fuck is going on here with these chicks in garters?
yeah, I mean it is interpretive dance. So if you get the sense that he is going to the tavern to find party members, then it's doing its job.
Is that an interpretive puff puff?
Yes. From Torn.
I wrote down here, and at this point, somehow there was a lot of gratuitous white hero butt shots. I think because his back was to the party.
Ballet's like that.
Talking to the bartender talking to these girls in garters. I got a lot of gratuitous butt shots of him. And it looked like he was going to recruit a party. The female fighter, like from DQ3, comes out and they dance. My other observation here is, wait a minute, are they just all dancer class if they're all just dancing all the time? They dance for a long time. Seems like this dude is completely striking out, recruiting a party. When all of a sudden, Not Taloon shows up. Weapons dealer Not Taloon. And I think he's introduced here because the white hero needs something better than a dagger. And this seemed to go on for quite a while. They dance a little bit, and it just seemed to never end. There was lots of dancing, lots of these recruits, and da-da-da-da-da. Hey, enemies appeared, and then there was even more dancing. The black hero comes out, and the battle music starts playing. I thought this is at one point where
was he a villain, or was he just a misunderstood hero?
I'm thinking misunderstood hero.
Misunderstood hero, just like two completely different perspectives. Like maybe the guy was from Nigeria.
Well, he was raised by the bad dude.
He was raised by the bad dude. Yeah, that's true. He was raised basically by a kidnapper.
Correct. He's got Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. There you go.
We'll call him the Stockholm hero.
But why would the villain name the kid Black Hero unless he was, like, from his perspective, he's good? Meaning, like, the kidnapper guy, he's like, from his perspective, he's doing the right thing, like rescuing this baby from these Celestrians.
I don't know. We should just call Black Hero Finn at this point.
Okay.
He was taken from his parents, turned into a fighter, for the bad guys. But what does he know? Maybe, like Finn, he'll one day not want to be a stormtrooper Black Hero anymore.
Actually, if you don't follow John Boyega on Instagram, you totally should. He makes the best post, and my favorite post that he ever made was all the insane Raylo shippers tweeting him, and he made a video just like punching and running over their tweets. It's the most fantastic thing I've seen in a long time. It's like, we don't deserve you, John Boyega. You actually wanted those movies to be good.
Oh, hey, by the way, Liam, you say you haven't seen episode 9. Do you have Disney Plus?
No, I got Plex.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say Disney Plus tomorrow, May the 4th, dating this episode here. By the time you're listening to this episode, it will have already happened. But apparently, May 4th this year, they get the rights to all 9 movies. They'll all be on Disney Plus.
You mean all 6 movies? And the sequel trilogy.
You mean 3 movies in Rogue One?
But apparently, the whole kit and caboodle drops tomorrow.
Hey, Solo's worth watching. I think it's fun. It's fun. It's not supposed to be high art by any means, but I enjoyed it. In fact, I wear the Solo jacket all the time because it's a light jacket, and I'm constantly cold. And I bought it before the movie came out, and I thought, well, if the movie's bad, I got a nice jacket out of the deal. So,
nice.
I'll say I really did like the Solo movie. That was fun. So, all right, but back to our Finn in the movie, in our ballet here. The Black Hero goes around like killing all these people at the bar, and there is some weird scene. I took like a 3-second video of it and sent it to Yangus, the Legendary Bandit, and he was like, "What the fuck is this?" They like zoom. I mean, it's just 3 seconds. You blink and you miss it, but they zoom all the way in on the weapons Not Taloon guy, and he's like sitting there with this battle axe, or basically like a gigantic mace, and he's like rubbing his hand up and down, like either doing something sexual with it, or he's like using it as a freaking mortar and pestle and grounding the shit out of something. And
I'm glad other people noticed that, because
it just was a very weird, like, okay, most of everything is pulled way back. They're just, someone in the back is just videotaping everything that's going on in the play. But like,
he's like, yeah, that's the stuff.
Yeah, they're like, no, we got to zoom in on this.
And he starts zooming in on everybody's feet. Just yes.
So yeah, I was like, I don't know what he's doing, making mashed potatoes, molesting the handle, don't.
Was this
really...
bootlegged, or was this like a legit, like the production was actually recording it?
Oh, this is the production. It's on that 40-minute video.
Yeah, so then that has to be relevant to like what they wanted to show us as an audience.
I think it was the expo people, because they were having a number of performances on that stage, and they probably had a video crew doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm thinking, because if it were the actual production people, they would have shown the story scenes that were up on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Which were in English,
there are
actually.
bootleg copies of this if you look around. I've seen like 3 and 4 minute bootleg copies of like somebody sitting way in the corner and taking a 3-minute clip out of this.
There's the subtitles in the background on the screen were in English.
Correct.
Which is interesting because it's a Japanese production in France. They could have translated them into French. But for some reason they were in English.
I don't think Weapons Dealer and Black Hero and White Hero were the hardest things to translate.
I'm gonna replay Dragon Quest 3 and rename all my characters these names. do a DQ Ballet playthrough.
So and here's where the play comes to an end, or the ballet comes to an end right after this. After the guy starts playing with his handle on this, suddenly this makes the enemies go away, or they decide they're done killing almost everybody except for White Hero, who pulls out his white flute again. The wise man appears, and he hands over a little coin pouch, probably thing of gold, to the weapons merchant, who finally hands the hero a sword, and the hero looks at his sword, and that is the end of the production.
It's also implied that's the legendary sword, because
I think so,
because
yeah.
he picks it up out of the backpack earlier, and he can't take it out, but after he plays the flute, he can.
Master using it, and you can have this.
Mm-hmm.
And
just like I want to say, the whole tavern scene, it has story elements there. Just I like how the fighter comes in, and she has her crew, and her crew's unsavory bunch. They start a lot of problems. We've got Tornico selling them a bunch of bum weapons, and they start a fight with him. So there are story bits there. There's just so much happening. It's hard to focus on those bits.
Oh, definitely, yeah. You're looking everywhere,
and there was this whole unresolved. The Platty, you texted me right after this. You're like, wait a minute, they didn't even save the princess. Like, the whole thing just ends.
And and then the cast comes out, and there's a lady. I got what I came here for. See you. Yep. The lady comes out, and she does say, "Hey, this is part of a production we do in Tokyo. We'd love you all to come to Tokyo and see this. We have grander stages and set designs and blah 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 blah. Thank you very much."
Yeah, you could tell it wasn't the full production.
Yeah.
Really, just like we joke, but it's tough to tour with that many dancers, because they have to rehearse and coordinate all of that, and ballet dancers really put their bodies through the ringer with their diet and their rehearsals, the special shoes that they have to wear. It's crazy. So even though it may not be my thing all the time, I definitely appreciate the work that was put into it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that was not an easy thing to get together, nor an easy thing to pick up and move around the world.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and really the fact that they packed up and just to kind of tour anyway is actually fairly surprising, because you would think that it would be just kind of this niche offshoot thing, but Square Enix is like, oh hey, let's send it over there. Why not? You guys want to go to France? Okay.
I'm just glad it exists in all its cheesy glory.
Yeah.
It's like I can't think of anything that's this silly that I've seen. Within the DQ franchise, like off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything else that's like, it doesn't take itself too seriously. There's whimsy to it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of anything else that's that kind of silly. I think there are some other productions, like there might have been was there a DQ on Ice?
I don't know.
No, there was definitely something a while back. like a stage production that I guess was along the similar. Yeah, I have to look that up. But yeah, in terms of like something that it almost seems like a parody of itself, or a parody of the franchise.
I think there was a TV show. I don't remember the name.
Oh, you're
of
talking
it.
about the one that's kind of similar to. Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that one, Dragon Quest: Your Story.
Nice. No, I meant the one that's
the other
parody,
one. Yeah.
the parody, the other parody of DQ5. Yeah, now I have to look up the name.
Rewatch Dragon Quest: Your Story. I was thinking about it earlier today. I'll just skip the ending.
There you go. He'll beat the final boss and live happily ever after. That's how it ends. The end. Oh. Yeah. So, what else about the ballet? That was the entire thing.
Brave Hero Yoshihiko. That's it. That's a live action DQ5 parody.
I've heard it's pretty fun. I should check it out sometime.
Yeah, I don't know if it was ever fully fan subbed or not, but I'd be interested in checking it out. They do a lot of cool kind of like video game gags. Like he'll just walk into someone's random house and start breaking pots, and the person just like doesn't pay attention or notice, say anything. So stuff like that. But I think there's also actual DQ monsters in this TV show.
Oh, okay.
Like slimes and things like that they encounter.
Oh, that's cool.
But I don't know if it's officially a Dragon Quest show. It's more just like a parody or an homage. Yeah, so anyway, getting back to the official Dragon Quest Ballet. Yeah, what did you guys think about the special effects?
It had special effects?
They weren't special.
Yes, the monsters, like the designs.
They were. Yeah. They definitely were not Dragon Quest, but I thought they were fun just because two of them had eyes and lips on their butt.
It did kind of remind me of that whole if you ever watched the old school Doctor Who where the guy's in like a big rubber alien costume and you could see the dude's undershirt through or see like the zipper on the costume or something like that. But yeah, what would have made that? What would have I think brought that a little bit more DQ? What would have made it a little bit more Dragon Quest familiar? Would be if they actually just used one or two. It didn't even have to be like if they had, like Platy was saying before, just put some slimes in it. They don't have to be Toriyama slimes. Just something that's like somewhat recognizable.
Yeah, just like a slime and a golem. I mean,
yeah, and it doesn't even have to be the Toriyama golem. Just make it like something, just a close knockoff.
Yeah, recognizable.
Yeah,
put some bricks on a guy.
Yeah, there you go. So what else do we have to talk about this other than this is not the first time I've seen DQ Ballet.
Oh, it's not?
Oh boy.
So yeah, a few years ago, I'm pretty sure I was either single or I was definitely alone. I was perusing a site happened to be called Pornhub. If you're not familiar with it, it's an entire hub of porn.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, I was feeling particularly inspired that night, and I happened to do a search for a term. Excuse me, a search for a term called nude ballet. And I happened upon not one, but a series of videos of a woman dancing solo ballet nude to Dragon Quest music.
Oh, wow.
So the music was actually the orchestral version soundtracks. And I remember hearing, there's definitely the Dragon Quest 1 walking theme. So if you picture that, someone dancing nude ballet to that. The Phoenix Ramia theme, Heavenly Flight from Dragon Quest 3. I believe one or two tracks from DQ8, like the walking theme. There's no credit in the video or mention of Dragon Quest or Koichi Sugiyama.
Well, yeah.
It was basically just someone taking Koichi Sugiyama's music and having someone dance naked to it. So, the uploader of the video was just listed as unknown. The video had no comments posted to it, not even people calling out the fact that it was Dragon Quest music. So
that's just insulting right there.
Yeah, you got to give credit where credit's due. My first thoughts at seeing this was immediately like, what are the odds that had to be some minuscule chance that a Dragon Quest fan would even find this exact video when there's no DQ related search terms in the video post? And then my second thought was like, who is the DQ fan here? Is it the dancer? Is the dancer the DQ fan, or was it like the editor or the producer of the video? And then my third was to immediately send it to Plattym3 and a couple other denizens as a gag. But also just to prove that it was actually real and that I didn't just like dream it up. But yeah, after seeing both the nude ballet and this DQ ballet, I'd probably have to say the nude one was probably better. Sorry, Japan Expo.
Well, I mean, sometimes it's quality over quantity. I mean, get that.
I love the fact that you remember like each music that it is and that it was orchestral and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's like when you see certain photos like that, and it's in their house, and instead of looking at the stuff that you're supposed to look at, you're looking at the books or the DVDs on their shelf.
And I had to refine the videos because, you know, obviously we can't post them in the show notes, or
can't
get from YouTube and every podcast channel.
Oh.
But yeah, I was only able to refine one of the videos. This is from like multiple years ago. And I posted it for you guys here in the show notes.
I thank you.
Yeah, just so that you can see that this actually was a thing. So if I start to hear DQ music, I'll know it's from that.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
it's kind of let's see like this can also have a negative effect too, because the cars living in stereo, Fast Times at Ridgemont High has ruined that song for me, because whenever that song hits a certain chord, I expect to see a certain actress, and I'll be at like Walmart or someplace, and just like walking around, and they'll be playing that song, and I don't see that scene, and I just feel sad the rest of the day. I've been conditioned.
Oh boy. Oh, do you remember where you were when Liam sent you this message? In October of So we posted this on the Den, not that part of it obviously, but we posted that we'd be doing this podcast tonight, and just a shout out there to Aus Neravar. He comments quite often. He was I think he might need the link to the video in the hub that Liam was talking about.
We're gonna start getting like a bunch of people just like hitting us up.
Not that he asked for it,
funny.
but he's like, wait a minute, what are you talking about again? We kind of alluded that this would may take a more rated R, rated X.
Yeah, this is
turn to it.
This is what we do when.
And he's like, wait a minute, what? What are you guys talking about tonight?
Yeah. Three guys who've never seen a ballet before have to get together to talk about ballet. We end up talking about porn.
and oddly enough, in like all my years of dealing with the Dragon Quest fan base, this is not the first time I've encountered Dragon Quest related porn. I'm not calling anyone out specifically, because it's happened a number of times. But please do not send me Dragon Quest porn out of gratitude. I appreciate the fact that you thought of me enough to send this to me, but it's not particularly my bag.
Okay, Dwayne, that was one time.
It's like one time I got like a lot of it. I'm like, oh wow. I just had to say thank you very much. I appreciate the gesture, but we are an all ages site. Thank you very much.
This is what they sent it publicly on the Den?
No, they emailed it to me.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't, and again, this has been like a bunch of people, and it's not like their fan art or anything like that. It was just kind of stuff they found, and they're like,
yeah.
Here.
Well, that's like, I guess that's kind of what I did to Platty, because I was like, oh my god, this exists. I got to tell somebody, Platty. And so I emailed it. But I also did caveat. I wanted to be like, hey, you know, I'm sending this to you, but you know, I'm going to be your one-time porn dealer, because I don't do this regularly. I'm not going to be sending you a bunch of stuff regularly.
I did go back and find that message on the Den that you sent us all those years ago.
Oh yeah, because it was.
But it really was. It was like a bunch of messages all over the course of like 3 days, and us kind of laughing, and that was about it. So
we started it was a DQ adults only chat, private message, for just stuff like that. Not like, just like one. I think there was the whole thing started with I was like, I was looking at the list of Dragon Quest Heroes quotes that all the characters say, the little like one-liners, and I was like, these look like they could just be like porn dialogue, every single one of them. You asked for it.
they definitely have some stuff. Brother Jaybird also commented on us recording tonight, the guest we had on the past 2 weeks, and I liked his quote. He's like, I'm caught between pointing out that ballet is boring as shit and admitting that this is probably the closest Western DQ fans have ever come to taste. Well, Brother Jaybird, depending on your tastes, we have another link to send you.
I'm a somewhat cultured gentleman.
I've been to opera once.
Actually, same here. Here in Houston,
times.
We've got the Miller Outdoor Theater, which is on the 2 months out of the year when it's nice. You can go and like sit out and watch operas. And I went to see the Barber of Seville, which opera is not my thing, but I appreciate it. And like, by the way, if you've ever seen the Barber of Seville, the second act is completely pointless and unnecessary. Because it does everything it needs to do in the first act, and the second act is completely pointless. I'm just like, well, that's an hour.
I think I saw the sequel to that one. That was the Mozart one, Marriage of Figaro.
Oh yeah,
because it was called the Marriage of Figaro, and I kept thinking I was going to see the opera where they sing that, Figaro, 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 and from every Bugs Bunny cartoon ever that has to do with the opera, and.
Actually, that night, a friend of mine was going to come with us, and as much as I love him, he can be just a little bit of a snob sometimes.
Well, that's perfect for the opera.
Mm-hmm. So, so he wound up not being able to make it, and it broke my heart because halfway through it, I planned to turn over to him and ask him, when is Bugs Bunny supposed to come out? Just to hear his heart break and his eyes roll into the back of his head.
Well, I didn't know that you weren't supposed to bring like chips or like smuggle food in.
Oh,
so I'm trying to open my chips, and I'm getting they don't even, they're so pretentious they don't even shush you. They go like a staccato snake. It's just like
a squirt bottle.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, that's probably what would happen if I was in the audience at a DQ ballet and trying to open a bag of chips. But I actually did see another ballet. My wife and I recently, actually last July maybe, went to see the Mostly Mozart Festival in Lincoln Center, and they had this the Magic Flute. And it had special effects, and it was actually really, really fantastic, really well done.
I've heard really nice things about that.
Yeah, it was the Mostly Mozart Festival with all these projection screens on the background, and it was really well done. It was a German production, and
also Mozart loved poop. Like, look it up. He loved talking about poop.
Okay. I don't remember that from the opera. I'm sure it was in there. It was just in German, so.
All those Germans.
I'm 1/4 German.
There's a lot of German in me somewhere.
So anyway, so additional Denizen comments. So for Eel, I told Eel I'd tell the story about buying a Simpsons DVD at a porn store in Manhattan, but since there's already a sizable porn discussion in this episode, maybe I'll just hold off until Eel can come on sometime and we'll talk about it.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. He's working on getting a mic, but it's like he can't get, it's hard to get one right now during coronavirus pandemic season. Can't really borrow one. It's a little, people are a little bit standoffish about that.
A little bit. Ever since I heard Cardi B say coronavirus, it has stuck in my head ever since, and I wish I could just take that part out of my brain, but I can't.
So, Yeah, we covered it. I think that's all. We didn't have a lot of people posting on that. I don't think a lot of the denizens have been clicking on the Dragon Quest Ballet.
Yeah. Well, maybe
Although maybe this will get more.
Yeah, maybe this will like a lot of the ballet enthusiasts will like see this and start playing the games.
I hope so. Hey, if it helps.
Yeah, there we go.
But really, just like I was saying before, the music does lend itself very well to ballet. What people think of the production aside, I thought the music fit very well.
Yeah, that's both the clothed and unclothed versions. Lend themselves well to ballet.
It flows well, as beautiful dancers can flow well.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth checking out once. If you're working on something, it's good to just bring up and just like let it play while you're working on whatever. If you're doing schoolwork, working from home, just need something entertaining.
And as much.
And let's be honest, you're gonna.
No, go ahead, play.
I was gonna be like, you're gonna waste 40 minutes on YouTube in the next couple days anyway, looking at stupid cat videos or something. So I mean,
pretty much.
You probably wasted 40
Look
minutes
at this.
on this.
No, that's true.
You could have been watching the ballet.
God,
But,
It's just like how
should
many.
have said that at the beginning. Hey, just put this on, hit mute, and listen to us narrate.
It's just like how many news stories will you watch from different channels that is essentially the same story that they just repeat the same thing over and over again.
That's true.
I need to stop this.
But yeah, despite I got a ton of crap from Platty about making him watch this for this recording. But thank you, Platty, for putting that synopsis together. I think you got even more out of it than I did.
I will say I had to just keep typing, and that's all. Like my summary is very it's not as grammatically correct as I'd love it to be. I just sat there on my phone like typing as fast as I could while watching this on my laptop. I'm like, oh my god, I think I typed the word "and they dance" like about 20 times on there. They dance
along with WTF over and over again. Yeah. And I actually probably will at some point watch the rest of those like 12 videos or whatever of the other productions, see what's different. And probably
I will too. I just kind of want to see how the story ends.
Yeah, just out of fan curiosity, Now
again, I'm not 100% sure that it's the same ballet.
Maybe we get another weapons dealer cameo in there somewhere.
Yeah, there's even a playlist on here that is 12 episodes long. And I'll tell you what, there's not even half the number of viewers that this one got. The one that Yuji Horii tweeted out is got like 10,000 views or something. So
I figured out. I think I figured out what the story reminds me of. I think we've all seen the one image of that knockoff Justice League toy package with like Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, Lightning, and Shrek. Just like that's kind of what the story reminds me of. It's all these like little bits of Dragon Quest in a package that looks nothing like Dragon Quest.
Oh, wait. Okay, so this just in. I just put on episode 5 of the Dragon Quest Ballet that was updated back in 2010. Oh, it's the same ballet. I just watched a white hero walk over to the weapon trader Not-Taloon's backpack and pull out a sword and look at it compared to his little dagger and be like, yeah.
Okay. Is it the same actors?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I don't think so.
10 years earlier, probably.
Oh, yeah, probably not.
But it looks like it's the same story, so yeah, we should have taken some more time.
The first one of those like CD like drama play video things that they used to put out. I remember the first one was like 1992-ish, so I think it's been around for a while.
They did one for Dragon Quest IV, right?
I think so. Yeah. Those are one of those things. It's just like, I don't know what these are, and I don't know how to begin to look for them, and my knowledge of Japanese is not extensive enough to understand it.
Well, I will throw in the show notes for this podcast. I will put a link to the playlist with the extended version of this, also as well as the one that we watched, the 40-minute one from Japan Expo 2019. So
yeah, just like check it out, get all cultured and shit.
Yep. It's about 2 hours long if you watch all the 12 episodes, and the quality isn't as good as this is. But 10 years later, videotaping in the dark gets a little bit better.
Oh yeah, anything to have a break from all the shows that are doing that's like essentially a Zoom call.
Yeah.
I heard the Parks and Rec reunion was good, but I'm just like, I just don't like that format.
Yeah,
No,
I saw the
I love
Goonies
that
one.
show, but I'm not gonna watch that.
Yeah, I'm just like, not like this.
I saw the Goonies one that was like the cast now being interviewed by Josh Gad. It was a little cheesy, but it was also kind of cool to see like some behind the scenes stuff. Plus, Richard Donner's still alive. He's like in his 90s now, and he signed on to the call. It was funny because he just like couldn't get his audio working at first.
Of course.
Yeah.
Just like had to have his like grandson do it.
Yeah,
Sort
they
of
were all
sort of like Batty Winkle. If you don't know Batty Winkle, please look her up. Your life will be better because of it.
Okay.
All right, gentlemen, any last thoughts on this before we wrap this one up?
I know we were ripping on it, but I still find it entertaining. Like we were at least from my perspective, like ripping, like, you know, playfully.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I watched Doctor Who. I watched classic Doctor Who, so like seeing that stuff, it doesn't make me angry. It just makes me like reminiscent of that.
Like I said, like not necessarily my thing, but I definitely appreciate everything that ballet dancers put themselves through, because it really is just how they can control their diet and all those hours of rehearsal and balance and like all that. It's crazy. I definitely could not do that. So hats off to them.
Alrighty, well, that's it for this episode of Slime Time. We want to thank our guest Dwaine for joining us to talk about this odd, obscure Dragon Quest art.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
Thanks so much, Dwaine.
Yeah. You might have noticed that the only time we mention Patreon is when we say we don't use Patreon. Liam and I are just a couple longtime fans that want to speak about the game series we know and love so much. If you have money you'd like to donate, consider sliding on over to the Dragon's Den at www.woodus.com/den and click on support this site. Woodus has owned and maintained the Dragon's Den for 20 years now plus, and I'm sure he'd appreciate any donation. Or instead of just handing him some money, you could use his Amazon affiliate links. Pretty much anything that is currently there, Dragon Quest related on Amazon, he's got an affiliate link, and it won't cost you anything, and it'll give him a small fraction of the sale.
Do we have shirts yet? Do you know? Hey, Dwaine, can we use your image for shirts?
Sure.
I don't know if we asked you that.
I think I sent you the layered file so you can do separations and stuff. But if I didn't, let me know and I'll whip that up for you.
Okay.
So funny you should mention that, Liam, because I was talking to Brian 2 days ago, and he might have the shirts. He ordered a couple prototypes, and he might have them in his possession right now, or if not now, in the next day or two. So we might be tweeting out some pictures of some Slime Time shirts.
Are you going to be wearing just the shirt?
No bottoms?
Just the shirt.
Bottomless.
Depends on the weather.
I do everything on Zoom now. All I need is a shirt.
That's true.
That's why we have to make the official Slime Time underpants that match with the shirt.
Okay. I'll get started on that.
All right. And on that note, if you're an advertiser and you're looking for a cool new podcast to spend lots of ad revenue on, reach out to us at slimetimepodcast@gmail.com. If you have any comments or questions for us, you can find us on Twitter at Plattym3 or at Riamucelestian, or hit us up both simultaneously at DQ Slime Time.
Consider joining in tons of DQ discussions over at the Dragon's Den forums, one of the few remaining forums still around. You can find it from the main page that I mentioned earlier, or at www.woodus.com/forums. I know I'm always posting there, and we've always got some interesting discussions going on. We'd also like to thank everyone that made this possible, especially Woodus, for his support of the series and this podcast, and for keeping the Dragon's Den's lights on for the past couple decades.
And thanks to Amanda Lepre and the Descendants of Erdrick for allowing us to use their music for our podcast. Descendants of Erdrick is a video game cover band from Austin, Texas. If you'd like what you heard, check them out in their most recent album, Advent, at www.descendantsoferdrick.com, or Twitter at Dia Verdrick, or go see their band leader Amanda Lepre live on tour as a guitarist for Andrew WK once all of this coronavirus stuff is done.
Mm-hmm.
I think Andrew would still be playing shows no matter what.
Maybe, but I don't think they're touring right now.
The venues are not open.
Something about partying.
Yeah.
Social distance partying, yeah, like 6 feet, party 6 feet from one another.
Maybe you can watch them on Zoom.
Yeah.
Oh, and one final thanks to you, Dwaine, for doing the graphics art for this podcast, making our cover and what'll be on the shirts and what might be on the underwear and all the other stuff.
You are very welcome. It's still one of my favorite pieces I've done in the past year or so. It was super fun to work on.
Thanks. Where can other people find your work online, Dwaine?
Well, since I renewed my domain name just now, you can. But the easiest way, since I'm working so much, I'm pretty terrible at updating my social media because it's funny, like I'm not on vacation because I'm a freelancer. But the easiest way, just go to my store at DwaineBullockArt.BigCartel.com. That's DWAINE. I'm cursed with a name nobody can spell. So, and which is funny because there are only 2 of me on Facebook, and I'm the white one. But that's got all my pieces in junk. But I need to update it badly. But I'm also Dwaine Art on Instagram, and so you can see what random junk that I post on my Instagram stories. So.
Yeah, and we'll have both those links in our show notes tonight.
And if you're looking for more DQ podcasts, check out our earlier episodes on Dragon's Den, Anchor FM, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and more. Please also check out our fellow Dragon Quest podcasts available like Puff Puff Hour and DQ FM.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Slime time, sliming off.